Good morning from day 89. So didn't really say much end of day yesterday. Yesterday was a total of 25 miles, including the side trail, the 4.5 mile side trail to get from the lake back to the trail, and then the side trail I took to get to the top of old snowy mountain, which I found out is the highest point, not along the PCT, but along the highest point in the PCT in Washington. We got so extremely lucky with the clouds and were able to see everything. The only time the clouds became problematic actually was when we were walking along Knife's Edge, which arguably is one of the more picturesque, based on pictures I've seen, one of the more picturesque aspects of Goat Rocks. But when we were at the top, we were able to see along Knife's Edge and see how pretty it was on both sides. So it would have been a different perspective of the same thing we'd seen, so I don't feel gypped at all. It was actually kind of cool to do Knife's Edge walking through a cloud, but that was definitely one of my favorite days on trail. I think it ranks pretty high up there in days in the Sierras as well. It was just so gorgeous. And again, for safety, I'm so glad I decided to spend a day at the lake. Now also for the views, I was also so glad I decided to do that. So today's plan is 10.3 miles into White Pass. Half a mile from the pass is, so this is a road pass, not a mountain pass. Half mile from the pass is a store called Cracker Barrel, not the chain restaurant Cracker Barrel we're all aware of, but like a convenience store type thing. We have a hiker area for charging and hanging out, and it has a convenience store type resupply. So my plan is to go there for a couple hours, charge things, resupply. They have $5 unlimited hot chocolate, so get some hot chocolate, and then head out and do 10 to 15 miles in the afternoon. The closest town is Packwood, which is a 20-mile hitch from the pass. The only reason I foresee myself going into Packwood is if the food options at the Cracker Barrel are too limited. From White Pass to the next stop for food is only 100 miles, so I'm gonna do a half day out, 3 full days, and a half day in. So I don't need that many days of food. So I am going to do my best just to make do with whatever that convenience store has. I can eat whatever for 4.5 days, and make do. But if there's absolutely no way, that would be the only reason I would go into Packwood, because I don't want to stay at a hotel or a motel, or do laundry or shower or anything like that. I just don't want to spend that time. But again, White Pass, and then 100 miles to Snoqualmie Pass, which is the next place to resupply, and that'll be where I spend the night at a hostel type thing and do laundry and shower. So for now, just a hopefully easy 10.3 miles into the pass. I started at 6:30, so I'm hoping to get there by 10 at the latest, or I should just say around 10, and then I'll head out again around 1 or 2 would be my plan. This is the first burn zone that I've seen in Washington. It's so sad that because of climate change, even Washington, which is a northern state with a lot of precipitation, that even Washington still deals with fires. We're about to have the most epic view of Mount Rainier. Oh my God, that's incredible. We're going to have a switchback down there. And you can see the trail curve all the way around this basin. Lupines have definitely become my favorite flower out here on trail. I made it to White Pass. Now I just do a half-mile road walk down the highway to the Cracker Barrel.
Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, some of it. Some of it. Not enough.
I am leaving the Cracker Barrel at White Pass a little bit later than planned. It's 1:25, but that's okay. So it's just a gas station convenience store, but caters to hikers. They have tented area out back with outlets. Obviously a bathroom. They do have shower and laundry, a little bit expensive, and I didn't want to spend the time to do the laundry, etc. It was like, I think it was $10 to $15 for laundry and same thing for shower. I'll be in Snoqualmie Pass in 3 to 4 days or something, and we'll do shower and laundry there. Got a quick resupply and a good bunch of food. Spent like $64 total for the next 3.5 days of food, and also for some food for me to eat while there. So, you know, it could definitely convenience store prices, but one of my few resupplies left. So leaving White Pass, I now have the next 170 miles. I get to walk without worrying about any fire closures. So in those 170 miles, it's 100 miles to Snoqualmie Pass, and then 70 miles to Stevens Pass and Leavenworth after that. And then there's a complicated hitching system, public transport to hitch around a fire closure, a couple different fires that are ultimately creating a closure of like 160-ish miles. And so skip from Stevens Pass up to Hart's Pass, where I do the last 30 miles. So I have about 210-ish or 200-ish miles left of trail, which is crazy to think I only have that little bit left. I just made out my plan, where in 10 days I will be taking a shuttle from Manning Park, which is 9 miles past the terminus, into Canada to Vancouver, and then flying home. I am still waiting on my permit to be approved to enter Canada, so, you know, hoping that happens. I had originally submitted that 8 weeks before I was going to enter Canada, which was mid-July when I was in Tahoe, but obviously the fires bumped up my timeline, so I did email them and they said I would get an update late last week or early this week. It's still Monday, so I'm still holding that hope, but like when I get to Snoqualmie, I will email them again. If I can't enter into Canada, if I don't get the permit approved by then, the worst case scenario is that when I get to the terminus, I turn around and hike 30 miles back to Hart's Pass, figure out a ride to Seattle, and fly home from Seattle. So there is an alternative option. But anyways, 200-ish miles left of trail. My next stretch is 100 miles to Snoqualmie Pass. There's so many cute little froggies. It's adorable. This is such a beautiful blue sky sunny day, and after the last, whatever, 3 to 4 days. It definitely makes me realize that I can't take this kind of weather and this kind of day for granted. Look at this really cool mushroom. This afternoon is absolutely flying by. I've done 12.3 or 4 or something miles in slightly less than 4 hours. The reason being, I use my water additive that has some caffeine in it, and again, doesn't really give me energy, but that caffeine helps my self-diagnosed ADHD, helps me focus on hiking. So the combination of the caffeine, and then also I've been listening to a podcast about home renovations and updates, and so I've been hyper-focused on the combination of hiking and thinking about things I want to change in our house to make it more homey. And anyways, that combination has helped the miles fly by, helped me hike faster. So I just passed the campsite I originally was gonna, well, my goal is to go 10 to 15 miles. When I was in White Pass, I had made a rough plan for my time to the border, and had planned to camp at a campsite that I just passed. That was about the 12.4 or 12.5 miles out of White Pass, but I passed that at 5:30. So I am going to keep on hiking a little bit further, enjoy my podcast, and just enjoy this beautiful, nice, gentle trail. I am less than half a mile from where I plan to camp tonight. As long as the campsite's open, it says it only fits 2 tents, and even the comments say 2 to 4. So hopefully there's not a group there. But anyways, I will make today a almost exact marathon day, a 26.2 mile day, plus the total 1 mile off trail for the half mile there and back to the Cracker Barrel. I am hiking a little bit later in the day than I had told me, than I had planned when I wanted to get back to enjoying hiking, but still I'll get to camp by 6:40, and that's the trade-off for spending 3.5 hours today at the Cracker Barrel, so I will take it. I am feeling great. I took off my ankle brace for the first time since I started wearing it this afternoon, and by the time I get to camp, I think it'll be 15.5-ish miles that I hiked without my ankle brace, and as of right now, I'm feeling good. I'll see how I feel when I get to camp, and then when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna keep wearing my calf compression sleeve probably for the next couple days, and then I may try taking that off when I get to Snoqualmie Pass, but I didn't want to make both changes at once and risk messing things up. But looking at the weather, tomorrow it drops like 15 degrees, and there's a 30% chance of rain from 3 a.m. till I want to say 8 a.m. I think. So if it is raining, I will probably have a late start, but then after that, the next 2 days are back to warm and sunny. Good morning from day 90. It is a cold and dreary morning. I got started about half hour late today at 7 o'clock because when my alarm went off, I could hear a little drizzle in my tent, so I was trying to wait out a little bit of rain. Here's the dreariness. But I checked my Garmin weather, and it's supposed to be, it only goes by every 2 hours, so it's plus or minus within this window, but a 30% chance of light showers at 9 o'clock, which it downgraded from rain showers to light showers. So I decided I just had to tough it up and walk through it. I think I mentioned yesterday it's just like a 15-degree temperature drop from yesterday to today, and then it'll raise back up 15 degrees, 10 to 15 degrees tomorrow and the next day. So just one random cold, dreary day, and then we get back to sunny and blue skies. My goal today is 28.7 miles. The reason being, like I mentioned yesterday, I already bought my plane ticket. So I already have a set time. I need to make it to the border and ultimately to Vancouver. But there's a certain day in there, over a week a week from now, where there's a day that if I don't get a ride from Trail Angel, I'm gonna have to take a lot of buses and public transport to make it around a fire closure. And anyways, it'll just be easier if I can have less miles to do on that day to give me time to do the public transport, which just means adding a couple miles to the next couple days. Still less than 30, so I will still be okay with that. And because it's cold, I'm probably not going to want to take long breaks today, but rather keep moving. Now, as a very random side note that you probably don't care about, I do obviously have pants to hike in. I'm obviously wearing shorts. The reason for that is, one, obviously get warmer when hiking, especially since I'm going uphill, but also my pants are not rain pants. They are water resistant, but they're not waterproof or rain pants. And so if it is actually going to rain, I don't like wearing them when it's actually raining, because then they'll just get wet and we'll lose any warmth, and I'll lose them as a warm layer after the rain. The sun's trying to peek out for a second, and this is gorgeous. Nothing like a good huckleberry eating break. I don't think Washington can get any prettier. I'm just standing up from lunch. I barely managed to sit down for 30 minutes before it got too cold to keep sitting down. I didn't want to wait for a ramen cold soak. It takes like 20 to 30 minutes to cold soak. So I just had beef jerky and peanut butter and pretzel sticks for lunch. Because it is a cold day. It's thankfully not windy, and I have intermittently gotten hot today when the sun comes out. Just right now it happens to be cloudy. But I checked the temperature at lunch and it was 44 degrees with a real feel of 34. So my whole goal is basically to get to camp so I can set up my tent and get in my sleeping bag and get warm. I did like 18.2 miles, 18.1 miles to where I stopped for lunch, and so I have 10.5 miles left where I plan to get to camp for a 28.7 mile day or something like that. Today I have been wearing my headphones almost all day because I've just been enjoying listening to podcasts about home renovations and designs and things. Anyways, I've just been enjoying listening to podcasts all day, and that will probably continue just because, you know, the whole reason I got the headphones was because my ability to self-entertain on trail is extremely limited at this point after 90 days. So anyway, I'm going to focus on hiking and trying to get warm. I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro, but right there hidden behind the clouds is Mount Rainier. It's very faint, but I'm literally getting hailed on. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's happening.
Sorry, carry on.
Are you okay? I'm doing things too.
Jesus, it's August.
No, what?
Have you heard about Tahoe? Jesus.
I am sitting in my tent. I think it was 28.7 or something miles today. Made it here by about 5:45, as you can see from the videos. The last hour, at first it started hailing, very small hail, not painful at all. Turned to sleet, and then it turned to white fluffy snow, which is really pretty, but kind of shitty to be hiking in. So the last hour was snowing. Thankfully, I'm at camp, obviously in my tent. The tent site was underneath some trees, so I didn't have to set up my tent on any snow or anything, and it's pretty protected now. I think the snow has actually stopped. It's just a little bit windy, or at least temporarily, a little bit windy and just knocking the rain off of the trees, which is okay. And the best thing about all this is that tomorrow the temperature's supposed to increase by 10 degrees and it's supposed to be sunny. So everything that gets wet will dry up tomorrow. So I currently have my rain jacket outside hanging from one of the trees. Hopefully it's somewhat protected from the rain, but to dry out because it did start soaking through. My clothes that I was wearing while hiking are dry or slightly damp, and I've got some dry sleep clothes, so I will be a-okay. Just again,
good thing is that it warms up tomorrow, because this cold and wet shit is not enjoyable, and not what thru hikers are really prepared for, being you know, lightweight. We're more 3 season than 4 season.